how to use AutoFill presets and how to create new one. That's exactly what you will see when you first open project file with all 25 presets for AutoFill. So, first of all, you put your logo or illustration here with alpha channel, of course. I'm using this grid so I can place everything right like I want it. And the next composition is edit AutoFill. Here is our pre-composed your logo composition which have applied AutoFill, and we put it our growth source here. Let's do like that. Yep, and it growing from here. And then we have our speed map, which is just our pre-composed your logo composition with some inner shadow that we also applied here in our speed map. And that's why we're having this different animation speed in different areas. So we're going really fast here and then it goes slow because that's why. Because here is our speed map is darker. And now we have it. And then when you're satisfied with your AutoFill animation, you can go and see how it looks in colors with some different interesting presets. And that's it. That's how to use presets. And now we are going to discuss how to create your style and how exactly these presets were created. We are not going to look at everything. It will be really hard. No, it won't be really hard. It will be long because there is a lot of effects and etc. I like this one as example of how colors in fact matters. So just with beautiful colors and simple effects, you can already create something that renders pretty fast and looks good. So first thing is that all of these effects were built using these tools. It's AutoFill black and white, which is just black and white with the alpha channel AutoFill. Let's close everything that we don't use and make something like that. Yep. And extrude, it's just few bevels that were put it one on top of another. And then we having a gradient, which is also one of the popular tools that I'm using almost in half of the presets. Let me explain you how gradient works. That's a longer version. This is more clean and simple short version. So in fact it's just echo effect. It's just an echo effect. And if I will turn off this, it's just AutoFill with echo effect. Then we removed everything, so we have an alpha channel, and then we adjusted gradient. And our gradient having an alpha channel also, which is important. If you will consider creating your own preset, so it's not just flowing gradient with transparency that you can like right away use it with screen blending mode. Wave, it's just one AutoFill subtracted from another. You can do something like that, make it longer, and that creates this wave that you can copy multiple times. Let's put it like here, and you will have multiple waves. or you can create adjustment layer, not extract, and apply echo effect and make 3 copies, and you will have a lot of waves, which is also interesting. And we can play with it a little bit more. We can blur it, then apply levels and make it round. So we have something like water effect. So in fact, all that right now we playing with waves. Also we have 30 frame waves, we have 4 frame waves, and that's it. And by playing with waves, gradients, extrude, we plug in everything, created this 25 presets, which is cool. And we're going to look at 3 colors. That's also a great example of how simple and in fact beautiful could be, and fast also could be, creating templates. So 3 colors effect, you can make them shorter, for example, and using different color you can get different results. And it's just wave, 30 frames, and AutoFill. And that's it, which is nice and looks pretty good. Oh, also about Thunder. It also renders fast, especially if you will turn off gradient. Yep. And this electric effect is surprisingly good and interesting to watch. And it was created only using waves for frames. And now you have this interesting electric effect. How it was created is just turbulent noise. So in fact we could turn it off, and it's just turbulent displace. That's important effect that creates this interesting. Right now when it's not blue and not having electric color, it's not looking like something electric, maybe like fire, etc. But yeah, that's the way how you could create fire, electric stuff by playing with turbulent displays, which is not even animated. And I applied a little bit of turbulent noise, then I made tint, and now we're having not like flat color, because after turbulent displays we're having this different colors. So that's why our electric sometimes brighter, sometimes darker, which creates this how would say flickering effect that really looks like electric, like something electric. And gradient here, as I mentioned before, gradient not having alpha channel, so it's not transparent, but it's good because with a tritone we can make everything that is black, blue and teal and white using tritone color correction effect. Then what's interesting more, broken glass. I really like this effect, and because by copying AutoFill, by making it a little bit different, you can achieve some interesting effects. Also complex metal is just insane template, and here you can see that it's just a lot of different styles, like bevel. Then we're having inner glow. Also in these presets you can see and some of the comments, like this is thunder, this is gradient, and basically I'm doing what you can do yourself, like just playing with it, just understanding how it works. But I will continue showing you some interesting discoveries that were made when you work with exactly AutoFill effects. For example, I really like this effect, and this were created, look at that. It's kinda digital, it's kinda sci-fi effect, and how it were created, it's just 4 frames waves. I blurred it out, made mosaic, and then the most beautiful things, it's Hexatile. Hexatile with interesting option which says fold seamlessly. In fact, what it's doing, it's trying to make everything hexa. So normally it looks something like that, which is also cool, by the way, which is also interesting. And if we will apply all other effects like fine edges and tint, we also having some digital effect, but I didn't like this floating sphere. That's why we used fold seamlessly. And I recommend you to pay attention to this Hexatile effect. It's in fact really interesting and can create some amazing and fresh effects. You know, we all know all the effects in After Effects, but Hexatile actually surprised me. Look at that. Or maybe we can make it bigger so it will be more random and we'll having this like lines, etc. Also fire sparks were created the same way. Not the same way, but using the same effect. It's in fact a lot of Hexatile effects to create creatively looking fire. Here we have another fire, and together they create this kind of abstract fire. Also, I wanted to show you this thing. That's just displacement map. Originally, yeah, displacement map. Originally, it were created using Hexatile, which is fun, but here we're going to use effect and masks, and yes, that was a problem. So we used in this displacement map effects and masks of this thing. No, this, yeah. So I just created a lot of different noises, and by using displacement map, we having this broken glass effect that really looks like sparks or something like that. You see, just waves, a lot of waves offsets by position, but with adjustment layer, with displacement map, now we're having something like sparks, which is nice. And everything that I'm telling you right now will help you to create your own interesting effects. And water effect. You might wondering how it were created. In fact, we needed for that special composition where it was just a lot of waves that were blurred out, and then levels with high contrast alpha appeared and made everything smooth and interestingly looking things. Look at that. And then all that water effect like that. were created using just blending modes. So we're going to turn off grid, and we're going to look at this. It's just the shadows. This is, we can turn off too. And let's have a look at this effect. This is a glass to create this distortion of a grid without glass, and by looking at this water effect. That's also, in fact, something interesting. I didn't know that. But everything you see here is just layer styles. So it's just a drop shadow and inner shadow. Inner shadow creates this shadow like it's something inside, and inner glow creates this a little bit of a line that so we can see the curve. And bevel and emboss creates this how would say bump. So it's something that reflecting lights, but in fact it's not a bump. We created bevel and emboss in order to our glass kind of reflecting light to the surface. So it's more like caustic effect of the water light reflection. And now we have it. And everything else, I don't know, Asian ink were created the same way. It's just a gradient. It's just a gradient short, sorry. It's just a short gradient. Let's have a look how it looks. That were inverted. So now we're having black gradient. Then it were blurred out with some levels, with turbulent displays multiple time, and now we have it. Now we're having this kind of dirt or ink, in fact. And with a little bit more texture, we having more interesting result. Let's multiply it again. And when you're applying, we have like Asian ink or coffee effect, which is nice. And that's it, basically. All other presets is just other techniques that I explained to you before, and now knowing that techniques, knowing that how all these presets were created, you can use AutoFill and create your own templates. In fact, you can create all that effects inside this presets project file, because right now you will have all that gradients, waves, etc. And also, of course, in edit Speedmap, I want to explain you. In a tutorial about Speedmap, you learned that you can create like crazy speed maps. And here we have pre-composed speed map, not like duplicated logo, but pre-composed. Why we did that? Because to create this type of crazy speed map, you have to use inner shadow effect. And inner shadow effect, it's not an effect actually, it's layer styles. And if you will in Speedmap and you will use effect and mask, it won't see inner shadows, inner glow in our case, unfortunately. So that's why you have to put it here exactly and create inner glow here, and they should be exactly in the same position so it will work. So that's why this is one of the reasons why maybe it's better to use AutoFill if you're creating something amazing and not just simple, saving time reveal of the logo, but you want to create crazy speed map. So my advice to use it in this preset. But in fact, it's not so hard to recreate in any project you're using. So, well, just an advice. So I want to show you how this were created. In fact, InnerGlow have an option to use gradient. So basically InnerGlow is just something like that. But if you will use gradient, you actually could edit this gradient to make it not gradient, but lines, which is awesome. And also there is easy way to edit this gradient. You can just make it smaller or make it bigger, so you will have different result. Let's see what will happen. You already could see our crazy speed map works. We can make it crazier by increasing speed map influence. And now you have it. So that's it about presets, about styles, about some techniques and ideas, how to use AutoFill and how to create your beautiful projects, your beautiful presets that will make your project pop. So thank you very much for your attention.